National Electrical Code Article 400.8 allows for a suitable plug and receptacle to be used for the attachment of cord-connected appliances to supply circuits. Article 400.10b states that a cord or cable connector shall not be used as a substitute for a proper plug and receptacle connection. The cap and body must be rated for the appropriate current and voltage. The connection must be made securely to prevent unintentional disconnection. The cap and body should be of a type that is unlikely to be damaged or disconnected during maintenance. Based on the provided information, it is acceptable to use a matching 15-amp 125-volt male cap and female body to connect the door micro switch to the air curtain, provided the following conditions are met. Firstly, the cap and body are approved for electrical use. Secondly, the connection is made securely. Thirdly, the cap and body are protected from damage or disconnection. It is important to check with the local authority having jurisdiction to ensure compliance with any applicable local codes or regulations. Understanding the National Electrical Code, or NEC, is crucial for any electrical installation, especially when dealing with modifications or repairs. Let's delve into the specific articles mentioned and their implications for this scenario. Article 400.8 of the NEC broadly permits the use of plugs and receptacles for connecting cord-connected appliances to power sources. This allowance is based on the understanding that these connections are properly rated and installed, ensuring safety and reliability. The key phrase here is suitable plug and receptacle. Suitability implies that the chosen components must be designed for the intended environment, voltage, and current. For a 120-volt circuit powering a micro switch, the plug and receptacle must be rated for at least 125 volts and 15 amps, which is a common configuration. However, simply using any plug and receptacle is not sufficient. The NEC also sets restrictions as outlined in Article 400.10b. This section explicitly prohibits using cord or cable connectors as a substitute for proper plug and receptacle connections. This distinction is essential because cord connectors, such as wire nuts or insulation displacement connectors, are not designed for frequent disconnection and reconnection. Plugs and receptacles, on the other hand, are specifically engineered for this purpose, providing a secure and reliable connection that can be easily separated when needed. Several additional considerations are critical when implementing this solution. Firstly, the cap, which is the male plug, and the body, which is the female receptacle, must be rated for the appropriate current and voltage. Using components with insufficient ratings can lead to overheating, arcing, and potentially fire hazards. Always check the manufacturer's specifications to ensure that the plug and receptacle meet or exceed the electrical requirements of the circuit. Secondly, the connection must be made securely to prevent unintentional disconnection. This means that the plug should fit snugly into the receptacle, providing a firm mechanical and electrical connection. Loose connections can cause intermittent power supply, leading to operational problems and potentially damaging the connected equipment. Consider using locking-type plugs and receptacles, which provide an additional layer of security by mechanically locking the plug into the receptacle. These are particularly useful in environments where vibration or accidental pulling may occur. Thirdly, the cap and body should be of a type that is unlikely to be damaged or disconnected during maintenance. This consideration is crucial in an industrial setting where the door and air curtain are subject to regular servicing. Choose plugs and receptacles made from durable materials that can withstand the rigors of the environment. Look for features such as impact resistance, water resistance, and corrosion resistance. Also, consider the location of the connection. It should be positioned in a way that minimizes the risk of physical damage or accidental disconnection during maintenance activities. In light of these factors, the recommendation to use a matching 15-amp 125-volt male cap and female body to connect the door micro switch to the air curtain is generally acceptable, provided certain conditions are met. The first condition is that the cap and body are approved for electrical use. This means that the components have been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories or Intertech. These certifications indicate that the products meet established safety standards and are suitable for their intended purpose. Always look for the certification mark on the product before installation. The second condition is that the connection is made securely. Ensure that the plug fits tightly into the receptacle and that there is no play or looseness. If necessary, use locking type plugs and receptacles to provide a more secure connection. Also, be mindful of the wiring connections inside the plug and receptacle. These connections should be properly tightened and insulated to prevent shorts or open circuits. The third condition is that the cap and body are protected from damage or disconnection. This can be achieved by carefully selecting the location of the connection and by providing physical protection, such as a protective enclosure or conduit. The goal is to minimize the risk of accidental damage from impacts, abrasion, or environmental factors. It is also essential to consider the specific requirements of the local authority having jurisdiction, or OJ. Electrical codes and regulations can vary from one location to another, and the AHA has the final say in whether an installation is compliant. Always consult with the AHA before making any electrical modifications or repairs to ensure that the work meets all applicable requirements. In summary, using a plug and receptacle to connect the door micro switch to the air curtain is a viable solution, but it must be implemented carefully and in accordance with the NEC and local regulations. By following these guidelines, you can ensure a safe, reliable, and code-compliant installation. Let's break down the key components of the National Electrical Code and how they pertain to this specific application. The NEC, or NFPA 70, is a comprehensive set of standards that govern the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment in the United States. It is updated every 3 years to reflect the latest technological advancements and safety practices. The NEC is not law, but it is widely adopted by state and local governments, making it the de facto standard for electrical installations. Article 400 of the NEC deals specifically with flexible cords and cables. These are the types of wiring that are typically used for portable appliances and equipment, such as the air curtain in this scenario. Article 400.8 outlines the permitted uses of flexible cords and cables, and it is the basis for allowing the use of a plug and receptacle connection. This section recognizes that flexible cords and cables are sometimes necessary to provide flexibility and mobility, but it also emphasizes the importance of using them safely and in accordance with the code. Article 400.10b, on the other hand, sets restrictions on the use of flexible cords and cables. This section prohibits using cord or cable connectors as a substitute for proper plug and receptacle connections. The rationale behind this restriction is that cord connectors are not designed for frequent disconnection and reconnection, and they may not provide a secure and reliable connection in all situations. Plugs and receptacles, on the other hand, are specifically designed for this purpose, and they offer a more robust and dependable connection. The NEC also contains other relevant articles that may apply to this installation depending on the specific details of the situation. For example, Article 300 covers general wiring methods, and it provides requirements for the installation of wiring in various types of environments. Article 310 covers conductors for general wiring, and it specifies the ampacity, or current carrying capacity, of different types of conductors. Article 430 covers motors, motor circuits, and controllers, and it provides requirements for the installation of motors and related equipment. When selecting a plug and receptacle for this application, it is important to consider several factors. Firstly, the voltage and current rating of the components must be appropriate for the circuit. In this case, a 15 amp 125 volt plug and receptacle would be suitable for a 120 volt circuit. Secondly, the plug and receptacle must be of a type that is approved for electrical use. This means that they have been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories or Intertech. Thirdly, the plug and receptacle must be designed for the intended environment. If the installation is located in a damp or wet location, then a waterproof plug and receptacle should be used. If the installation is located in a hazardous location, then a plug and receptacle that is rated for that type of environment should be used. Fourthly, the plug and receptacle must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions in the NEC. This includes properly wiring the connections and providing adequate support for the components. In addition to these technical considerations, it is also important to consider the practical aspects of the installation. The plug and receptacle should be located in a convenient and accessible location, and they should be protected from damage or disconnection. The wiring should be neatly organized and properly supported, and it should be protected from physical damage. Finally, it is always a good idea to consult with a qualified electrician before making any electrical modifications or repairs. An electrician can help to ensure that the installation is safe, reliable, and code compliant. Let's delve deeper into the practical steps and considerations for implementing this plug and receptacle solution. Firstly, the selection of the correct plug and receptacle is paramount. As mentioned earlier, a 15 amp 125 volt rating is suitable for this 120 volt application. However, within this rating, there are various types and grades of plugs and receptacles to choose from. For example, there are standard straight blade plugs and receptacles, as well as locking type plugs and receptacles. Locking type plugs and receptacles offer a more secure connection, as they are mechanically locked together and prevent accidental disconnection. These are particularly useful in environments where vibration or movement is likely to occur. Additionally, there are industrial-grade plugs and receptacles that are designed to withstand harsh environments and heavy use. These are typically made from more durable materials and have features such as corrosion resistance and impact resistance. When selecting a plug and receptacle, it is important to consider the specific requirements of the application and choose components that are appropriate for the environment and usage. Secondly, the installation of the plug and receptacle must be done correctly to ensure a safe and reliable connection. This involves properly wiring the connections inside the plug and receptacle and providing adequate support for the components. When wiring the connections, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. The wires should be properly stripped and inserted into the terminals, and the screws should be tightened securely. It is also important to ensure that the wires are properly insulated to prevent shorts or ground faults. In addition to wiring the connections, it is also important to provide adequate support for the plug and receptacle. This can be done by mounting the components to a sturdy surface or by using cable ties or other means to secure the wiring. The goal is to prevent the plug and receptacle from being pulled or damaged, which could lead to a loose connection or a safety hazard. Thirdly, the location of the plug and receptacle should be carefully considered. The plug and receptacle should be located in a convenient and accessible location, but they should also be protected from damage or disconnection. Avoid placing the plug and receptacle in areas where they are likely to be stepped on, bumped, or exposed to moisture or other hazards. If necessary, use a protective enclosure to shield the plug and receptacle from the elements. Fourthly, regular maintenance should be performed to ensure that the plug and receptacle remain in good condition. This includes inspecting the connections for looseness or corrosion and cleaning the components as needed. If any problems are found, they should be corrected promptly to prevent a safety hazard. In addition to these practical steps, it is also important to be aware of the potential hazards associated with electrical work. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is essential to take precautions to protect yourself from shock or electrocution. Always disconnect the power before working on any electrical equipment and use insulated tools to prevent contact with live wires. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, then it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Let's further explore the code compliance aspect and the role of the authority having jurisdiction, ORG. The NEC is a comprehensive document, but it is not always easy to interpret. The AHJ is the local government agency or official that is responsible for enforcing the NEC in a particular jurisdiction. The AHJ has the authority to interpret the NEC and to make decisions about whether an installation is compliant. It is essential to work closely with the AHJ to ensure that your electrical work meets all applicable requirements. The AHJ can provide guidance and interpretation of the NEC and can help you to identify any potential problems with your installation. The AHJ may also require you to obtain permits or inspections before starting or completing your electrical work. It is important to comply with all of the requirements of the AHJ to avoid delays or penalties. In addition to the NEC and the AHA, there may also be other codes or regulations that apply to your electrical work. For example, there may be local building codes or fire codes that have specific requirements for electrical installations. It is important to be aware of all of the applicable codes and regulations and to comply with them fully. In the context of this specific scenario, the AHA has already approved the use of a plug and receptacle connection for the door micro switch. This is a positive sign, but it is still important to ensure that the installation is done correctly and in accordance with the NEC. The AHA may want to inspect the installation to verify that it meets all applicable requirements. The AHA may also have specific requirements for the type of plug and receptacle that is used or for the location of the connection. It is important to communicate with the AHA and to follow their guidance to ensure that your installation is code compliant. Let's consider some additional safety measures to enhance the overall installation. Firstly, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, can provide an extra layer of protection against electrical shock. A GFCI is a device that monitors the current flowing through a circuit and detects any imbalances that could indicate a ground fault. If a ground fault is detected, the GFCI will quickly trip the circuit, cutting off the power and preventing a potentially dangerous shock. GFCIs are typically required in areas where there is a risk of moisture, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. However, they can also be used in other areas to provide additional protection. Secondly, surge protectors can protect sensitive electronic equipment from damage caused by power surges. Power surges are sudden increases in voltage that can damage or destroy electronic devices. Surge protectors work by diverting excess voltage away from the equipment, preventing it from being damaged. Surge protectors are available in a variety of types and sizes, and they can be used to protect everything from computers and televisions to appliances and lighting fixtures. Thirdly, arc fault circuit interrupters, or FSIs, can protect against fires caused by arcing faults. An arcing fault is a type of electrical fault that can generate high temperatures and ignite nearby combustible materials. FSIs are designed to detect arcing faults and to trip the circuit, preventing a fire from starting. FSIs are typically required in bedrooms and other areas where people sleep. Fourthly, proper labeling and signage can help to prevent accidents and to ensure that electrical equipment is used safely. All electrical panels and equipment should be clearly labeled with their voltage, amperage, and other important information. Warning signs should be posted in areas where there is a risk of electrical shock or other hazards. Fifthly, regular inspections and maintenance can help to identify and correct potential problems before they become safety hazards. Electrical systems should be inspected regularly by a qualified electrician to ensure that they are in good condition. Any problems that are found should be corrected promptly. In the context of this specific scenario, it may be beneficial to install a GFCI to protect the 120-volt circuit powering the door micro switch. A surge protector could also be used to protect the air curtain from damage caused by power surges. Proper labeling and signage should be used to identify the electrical components and to warn of any potential hazard. The entire electrical system should be inspected regularly to ensure that it is in good condition.